Hey, it's Tara here, and you're listening to the Camel Connection podcast, where we, myself and Russell, who is also a co-host here, help you become more camel confident and connected in camel training, handling, psychology, and well-being. And in this podcast, I have a question for you, and that is, if you found yourself in the same room as a camel vet, not a general practice veterinarian, but an actual camel vet that dedicates their practice to camels, what would you ask? Or pick their brain about in camel care, medicine and health? Would you be asking about deworming medicines maybe? Maybe you got some skin issues your camels get every now and then or continually. Maybe you want to know what vaccinations your camels might need, or that certain lump that your camel has had for a while now. You know the one. What about minerals and vitamins that your camel needs specific to what you're doing with your camel, whether that be milking or using them as a working camel? What would you be asking about feeding? Maybe you'd be asking what you'd feed your overweight camel. We all have them. Or maybe your underweight camel. So Russell and I were reminiscing recently on a few years ago when we had no one to turn to for good camel health information except for a few amazingly thick books that we had, and were amazingly not quite helpful because we didn't understand the language. And we had most of the questions that I said before and more. And every day there just seemed to be new questions that would arise that we just weren't 100% certain on. So it was just always seemed like a guessing game, and we hated it. We hated it for our camels. So naturally we turned to the experts, Google and Facebook groups. But we found Googling naturally was extremely confusing, not to mention extremely time consuming, and often really hard to read, as it was written by scientists for scientists or veterinarians. And the Facebook groups, they had so many different opinions. It really felt overwhelming to know what was the right thing to do by and for our camels. And more often than not, the thread seemed a little bit like a battle of whose opinion was right and whose was wrong, if you know what I mean. So then enters the effort moment when we thought, if we are struggling with getting good, reliable camel husbandry, health and vet info, others probably are too, or they just don't know it yet. And so we figured, okay, the camel world has an issue and we need to solve it. So in that same moment, we decided that we would do whatever it would take to deliver good, reliable camel information that saves people time, money, heartache, and get their camels in the best health ever. Basically, it was all the things we wanted, but that's how all good ideas start, right? So we started compiling this information and we started a small but mighty academy online, namely our Camel Academy, which kind of turned into a Netflix for camel owners, like hello Camelflix. So shortly after we started the academy, we finally found a camel vet with incredible camel medicine knowledge that just blew us away, and it finally felt like the universe was on our side. So we invited this said camel vet to join us in our mission to deliver the best camel information possible, and she said, hell yes, which was awesome. We kind of weren't expecting that because vets are very busy people. So again, the question for you, if you found yourself in the same room as an actual camel vet, what would you ask or pick her brain about in camel care, medicine and health? What's the first thing that comes to mind? Maybe it's something pressing right now with your camels, or maybe you don't own camels and you're like, I would really like to know this particular thing before I get camels. Just have a little think about that. And if you're thinking, well, I'll just ask my local vet who I know and trust, you got to keep in mind that most vets only do minimal study on camels or camelids during their training. So relying on your local vet to know all about camels, unless they dedicate a large part of their practice to camels, is a hard ask, and some vets won't even treat camels. I know that as a fact. In Australia, not so much, but yeah, definitely in the United States, there's a lot of no's happening. So this week, we are actually hosting a Camel Vet Q&A panel, and it's actually in less than 24 hours. And this will be with Camel Vet, Dr. Margie Bale, who is ready, and she absolutely loves to answer all your camel health related questions. We've done a panel like this before, and it was just lit. It was really, really good. We all learned so much. So this Camel Vet Q&A is exclusive for members of our Camel Academy. So you'll need to sign up to the Academy before April 29th. So yeah, like if you're listening to this when it comes out tomorrow, before midnight, Australian Eastern Standard Time, or if you're in the Northern Hemisphere like the USA and Europe, it would be the 28th, and you'd have to figure out the time. And after you sign up, you'll get a private invitation to join this Camel Vet Q&A video call. And also, don't worry if you can't make the time, because it will be recorded and it's uploaded into our Academy, which you can watch later on. So if you have a question and you can't make it live, you can ask your question via email. Send us an email and we'll get that covered. So obviously on the Q&A call, you'll get a chance to ask all your camel health related questions to an experienced camel vet, not only now, but for as long as you're a member of the Academy. And again, you can pre-send your questions via email if you can't make it live. And you also get instant access to the Camel Academy, which is a library of camel information, video tutorials, ebooks, workshops, equipment making tutorials, and just so much more. Again, you'll need to sign up to the Academy before the April 29th midnight, Australian Standard Time, or the 28th in the Northern Hemisphere. And side note, the cost of becoming a member is just a fraction of the cost of getting a one-on-one Camel Vet consult. So consider this a saving of approximately $265. There you go. Sold. Also, you can cancel your membership at any time. There's no lock-ins. We don't want you to stay somewhere where you don't want to be. But we're pretty sure you want to stay, and people do stay just because we keep feeding the amazing camel content in there. So you've got nothing to lose and absolutely everything camel to gain. Head over to camelconnection.com/membership to join, and we'll see you in the Academy. Again, camelconnection.com/membership. We'll see you there. Hey, just quickly, how would you like access to the full tutorial on this camel topic? Become a member of our Camel Academy now, and you not only get access to this camel information, but a whole library of camel information. The Camel Academy is an online portal for camel owners and camel lovers just like you, which consists of a library of camel information, including entertaining camel vet talks and procedures, camel handling techniques and camel psychology talks, access to the latest and greatest info on camel husbandry and wellbeing, even workshops on how to make your own camel equipment, and of course a forum to ask your camel questions to camel professionals. This is just a glimpse on what you'll get access to in the Camel Academy. It's the camel flicks for the camel lover. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. Come join us, our resident camel vet, and a community of camel connectors worldwide over at camelacademy.com. That's CAMELEER academy.com.